Hey, look, everyone has done it. Every accountant, every dog walker, every engineer, every doctor, everyone has toyed with the idea of being a huge sales success. For some people, it's an obsession they can't shake. For others, it's a fleeting thought that pops into their heads when they watch Don Draper nail some campaign in Mad Men or Ryan Gosling walk through his Jenga pitch in The Big Short. The thrill of just totally wowing someone and getting them to buy what you're selling seems like magic. And who wouldn't want to have that kind of charisma, that power of communication and command of an audience? It's exhilarating. And you know what's even more exhilarating? The money. Be in the working world for any length of time, and you will start to hear the stories. Yeah, Dave made $250,000 on his last deal. Did you hear Julie made $700,000 last year and she barely got out of college? Oh my gosh, Pete made President's Club and they're going to Bora Bora. The stories get everyone's imaginations going. Then the real kicker comes into the game. Over time, you notice the pattern. These people the stories are about are the ones that are living in 6,000 square foot houses. They're driving Mercedes, Porsches, and Range Rovers. It means the stories were all true. And the good times that come with being a superstar salesperson are really out there. So you ask yourself, why not me? I'm smart. I know this business. I can talk to people. So why don't I go into sales and get my crack at some of the good stuff? Well, you ready for the answer? It could be you, with one huge caveat that I'm going to touch on in just a minute. But before we get to that, let's deal with the first idea. It could be you. The sales world, like any other, is usually, it's a bell curve. The population ranges from the really good to the not so good. You've got a few people that are absolutely killing it and a few people who are just really awful. And frankly, they probably don't even try that hard. And then there's that huge middle ground. In that middle ground, you have some people who consistently do, okay to average, and others who they have great years and they make club, but then they have terrible years. And on average, they're kind of an average producer and produce what the kind of okay performers do. Now, almost anybody can learn to sell well enough to be okay to average. There's probably no greater quantity of content on any single topic that rivals sales. It's almost ridiculous, but no salesperson will ever fail for the lack of availability of training material. They might fail for a lack of work ethic, or they might not actually apply the training that they were given. But training and access to training is usually not the issue. Now, you can pretty quickly learn the basics of making cold calls, making sales presentations, uncovering needs, and handling objections. You can hone your skills over time and become competent in a fairly short order. Now, this is where we land with the idea that almost everyone can sell. But here's the caveat. It isn't a good fit for a lot of people. Every year, bright, gregarious people with a gift for communication and a natural affinity for making people feel welcome, they're told by their friends and their family and personality tests that they should go into sales. They go through the training. They get pretty okay at it and maybe even have a few good years. They make some money and they do okay, but they start to hate the grind. They hate the pressure and the spotlight, the performance leaderboard, the scrutiny. They start to regret their decision, but it gets worse. When they start to explore other avenues, they find out that it's too late. Everyone sees them as a salesperson. Their resume at that point, it bleeds sales. And starting over salary-wise, it's just not an option. They're stuck. So while these people were well-trained and they seemed to have the natural gifts that companies look for in a salesperson, in the end, it was a bad fit. Now, does this mean that you shouldn't explore sales? Absolutely not. Sales is a great track for some people. And the money can be huge if you are selling the right thing and you do it really well. What it means is you should get more clarity up front on how well the selling motion aligns to your personality. Now, this can't be done by the normal personality tests out there. Not Myers-Briggs, not Enneagram, not StrengthsFinders, none of them. Sales is too complex. The generalized nature of those types of tools, it just doesn't uncover whether or not sales is a really good fit for people. Now, my recommendation is to do this. Check out the program that's linked in the description. No surprises, everything you should know before going into sales. It opens the door to every aspect of professional B2B selling, and it's going to help you know with almost certainty whether or not selling is something that you would enjoy and do well with. Look, Career mistakes are long-lasting, so before going into sales, find out what you don't know. You only live once.